Magi's gang, my name is Majojiba, Maji for short. If you're new here, you are welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you here with me again. Group hug. I hope everyone is having a good week so far and you are not letting anyone or anything dim your light. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 7 things you need to know before you buy a car in Canada. So definitely watch till the end to get the full gist. If you have already bought a car in Canada, fret not. Don't click off this video because I can assure you there are still some nuggets here and there for you as well. So let's jump straight into the video. So we will start off light and then we will move on to the not so light stuff. In Canada, you drive on the left side of the road. This is a good thing to note if you are interested in or you would be considering exporting cars to other countries that also drive on the left side of the road. It's also a good thing to note if you have just come or you would be coming to Canada from a country that drives on the right side of the road. I came to Canada from Australia, and in Australia they drive on the right side of the road. And when I initially started driving in Australia, on a few occasions I actually found myself on the wrong side of the road, because prior to moving to Australia I was living in Nigeria, and in Nigeria they drive on the left side of the road. So here is a simple rule of thumb to help you remember your lane. When your steering wheel is on the right on a two-way road, your lane is the lane on the left, and when your steering wheel is on the left on a two-way road, your lane is the lane on the right. Make sense? Good. Having a car is an investment and a responsibility you should own with your full chest. Part of owning this responsibility with your full chest involves using the right tires in the right seasons. I am not against you using summer tires in the summer and warmer months. I personally, however, use all-season tires in the summer and warmer months. However, what I am against is you using summer tires or all-season tires in the winter. I honestly don't know how some people do it, driving with summer tires or all-season tires throughout the winter season in Canada, but I personally do not like to test God. I usually change my all-season tires to my winter tires by the ending of October in preparation for the winter. In 2023, however, it snowed heavily for a few days in the middle of October and I still had my all-season tires on my car. The day I went to have my tires changed, I had to drive very slow because it felt like I had little to no traction on the tires to the road. Now these my all-season tires are in pretty good condition and they have at least 2 more seasons in them from what I was told by the mechanic. But let me tell you, when those winter tires came on, I could clearly tell the amount of additional traction I had, the increased control in the steering wheel, and while braking. Even with winter tires, you still have to be careful as it is not a 100% guarantee that nothing would go wrong. So if you drive on all-season tires or summer tires throughout the winter, I don't know what else to tell you other than you are not doing yourself any favors. Now, don't get me wrong, I do understand that there is an additional financial burden that comes along with having your summer tires or your all-season tires and having winter tires as well, but think about your safety. Try to save up to buy winter tires for the winter months. They will really help you. In my own humble opinion, winter tires are very much essential if you want to feel considerably safe while driving on the roads in Canada during the winter, especially if it's been snowing or the roads are icy. In terms of drivetrain, what I would suggest is you buy a 4-wheel drive or at least an all-wheel drive. Don't buy a front-wheel drive or a rear-wheel drive as your primary year-round vehicle in Canada. You could have them for summer enjoyment, but believe me, the winter weather condition in Canada is not favorable for front-wheel drives and rear-wheel drives. Front-wheel drives and rear-wheel drives are usually cheaper than all-wheel drives and four-wheel drives, so that could obviously make them a little bit more appealing. But then again, remember, having a car is an investment and a responsibility you should own with your full chest, so please make the right decision. Formerly known as CarProof, Carfax Canada is the country's most comprehensive and trusted source of vehicle information. It is essential that you review the Carfax report if you intend to purchase a used car in Canada. However, a new car will not have a Carfax report. This is because the car has not been registered in any province, neither does it have any vehicle history. Therefore, you can cross off the Carfax report off your list if your plan is to purchase a brand new car. There are two types of Carfax reports: vehicle history report and vehicle history report plus lien check. A Carfax report includes important details about a car such as accident, collision, and damage detail. This section of the report compiles data from collision estimating facilities, insurance information, and police reports to let you know any damages the vehicle has sustained in its life. Previous damage can impact the value and safety of a vehicle, especially if it has not been repaired properly. So the Carfax report can also include the lien status. So lien in simple terms is a loan. The Carfax Canada Vehicle History Report plus lien check shows if any other party has a legal claim registered against the vehicle as collateral for a debt owed to them. This is important because a lien could be enforced against you, the new owner of the vehicle, if it is not settled before you buy it. So basically, you could find yourself responsible for the previous car owner's debt. The report would also show you if there are any unfixed safety recalls. So the section of the report that would show this would show if there are any open recalls on the vehicle. It is important to know that the vehicle you plan to purchase is safe. An estimated 1 in 5 Canadian vehicles have an unfixed safety recall. This means that those vehicles have been deemed unsafe to drive by their own manufacturers. Although this may not be a reason to avoid a car completely, it is important to note that this safety recall has to be completed, usually at no cost to you. However, you will have to contact the car manufacturer to inquire further. So the Carfax report would also show you the vehicle's Canadian registration and branding. This section of the report would provide insight to where in Canada and the United States the vehicle is or has been registered, as well as the status of the vehicle in those jurisdictions. The stolen vehicle check section provides data from the Canadian Police Information Center to see if the vehicle is marked as actively stolen. There's also the import records section, which provides any applicable details about the vehicle being imported or exported between Canada and the United States. While you can always purchase your Carfax Canada report by inputting the vehicle's identification number, also known as the VIN, V-I-N, in the website of Carfax, which is www.carfax.ca. You can also view free Carfax Canada vehicle history reports when you shop with Carfax Canada partners and member dealers. You can access these free reports by checking vehicle listing sites such as autotrader.ca, autohebdo.net, Kijiji Autos, rides.ca, lospark.com, and auto123, as Carfax Canada allows dealers and private sellers to post their Carfax reports as part of the vehicle listings. You could also visit a local car dealer. Carfax Canada member dealers work hard to make sure that you, the customer who purchases a vehicle from them, is able to do so with full peace of mind. That's why they provide a Carfax Canada report with used vehicles sold on their lot, ensuring that potential buyers know all the details about the car's history. A car dealership or a car dealer is a business that sells new or used cars. They also often sell spare parts and automotive maintenance services. Private sellers, on the other hand, are independent individuals trying to sell off their own cars. From my my experience and the experience of others, I would suggest that you buy a car from a car dealer instead of a private seller. Used cars from car dealers are usually more reliable than those from private sellers because the car dealers have their integrity to protect, so they do their best to keep the cars in good condition, and they would most likely tell you everything you need to know before buying the car. However, of course, there would always be a few miscreants among car dealers, but that's few and far between. On the other hand, buying a car from a private seller could be a hit or miss, as some private sellers could be very dodgy. If you are considering buying a car from a private seller, ask them to show you the vehicle's Carfax Canada report. Many private sellers recognize that a Carfax Canada report is a valuable tool that demonstrates they are an open and honest seller and will gladly offer it to you. You could also request the vehicle identification number or VIN and purchase the report yourself. I know there are people who have bought reliable cars from private sellers. However, my advice would be, if you are considering buying a vehicle from a private seller and you are not knowledgeable about cars, please go with someone you know who is knowledgeable about cars. Or preferably, you could hire a certified inspection mechanic so that he or she could properly assess the car before you make your final decision to purchase. Just like you may rely on gloves and portable heaters to keep you warm in the winter, certain parts of your car may need some extra help to perform at their best during the winter season in Canada. Winter weather can take a great toll on your vehicle, especially because the fluids that keep it running are at risk of thickening and freezing in the cold. Low temperatures make it more difficult for the fluids to lubricate your car and protect its components from damage. An engine block heater, also known as a car block heater, prevents engine fluids from thickening and solidifying by keeping your engine warm so the liquids can maintain their consistency even when the temperature outside drops well below freezing. Engine block heaters ease the strain that cold starts have on your vehicle's engine by warming up the fluids before you start your car. They also help to reduce premature wear and tear by helping the engine stay lubricated. I am of the opinion that your car should have an engine block heater, especially if you will be parked outside for extended periods of time in the winter. For example, if you don't have a heated garage or underground parking for your vehicle, so therefore your car would be parked outside during the winter, it is a wise decision for you to find out if the car you intend to purchase has an engine block heater already. If there is no engine block heater in the car you are interested in purchasing, try to find a car with an engine block heater. But if you are already in love with the car and you want to buy it at all costs, please try to make inquiries to find out the cost associated with installing a suitable engine block heater. Engine block heaters are most useful when the temperature falls below -15 degrees Celsius. Usually, you can plug an engine block heater into any standard 110 voltage power outlet. Most times, you would only need the block heater plugged in for about 2 to 4 hours prior to driving your car, as it does not take too long to get the fluids to the level of viscosity required for proper engine function. Like your engine, your car's battery is also at risk of freezing and dying during the winter. To help keep your battery running smoothly, you could buy a battery blanket. A battery blanket is wrapped around the car battery to heat and insulate it, thus assisting in maintaining a stable temperature. It prevents the battery fluids from freezing, and in this way it assists you to start your car faster in cold and extreme cold weather conditions. Again, I am of the opinion that you should consider buying a battery blanket, especially if your car would be parked outside for extended periods of time during the winter. For example, if you don't have a heated garage or underground parking spot, so therefore your vehicle will be parked outside during the winter, it would be a wise decision to buy a battery blanket. You can keep the blanket plugged in overnight or for a few hours before you need to start driving. But in extreme cold, I would recommend that you just leave the blanket plugged in when the car is not in use. You can purchase a battery blanket from Canadian Tire. They have a variety of of blanket you could choose from. Make sure you choose one that will wrap around your battery completely, but it should not have too much of the heating element overlapping each other in the wrap around your battery, because that is not good. Now that we have talked about battery blankets and block heaters, I'm sure it is clear that you would need to have these devices plugged into a power outlet in order for them to function. The cable that usually comes attached to a block heater or a battery blanket is not a long cable, so you would need another cable which would assist you with connecting the block heater and or the battery blanket to the power outlet. For this purpose, you would need to buy a block heater extension cord, preferably one with the labeling extreme cold weather on it. This is because the block heater extension cords can become stiff when the weather is very cold. The length of the block heater extension cord you buy should be determined by how far your car is parked from the power outlet. For example, if your car is parked 10 feet away from the power outlet, do not buy a block heater extension cord that is labeled 9 feet. Make sense? Good. You can purchase a block heater extension cord from Canadian Tire. While we are still in the vicinity of batteries, let me address those of us that do not care to buy a battery blanket, probably because we have heated underground parking or heated garages. It is easier to start your car in a warm environment than in a cold one. For example, if you do not work from home and there is no heated parkade at your place of work, hence your car is not parked in a warm arcade or garage for about 8 to 10 hours a day, and the temperature outside is, let's say, minus 25 degrees Celsius. So when you finish from work and you go outside to start your car, you may notice that your car does not start as easily, or you may say your car is thinking. You may need to investigate some things like what the battery's cold cranking arms and reserve capacity ratings are. Cold cranking arms, also known as CCA, is a rating used in the battery industry to define a battery's ability to start an engine in cold temperatures. Reserve capacity, also known as RC, is the amount of time in minutes that a 12-volt battery can run before dropping to 10.5 volts. In general, for both CCA and RC, the higher the number, the better, especially in cold or extreme cold weather conditions. So do well to consult a battery specialist or a mechanic to find out what CCA and RC ratings would be best to ensure that your car is happy, especially during the winter months. My car has a 12-volt battery with a 640 cold cranking arms and 100 reserve capacity. Please note that this point about CCA and RC also applies to those of us that have our cars parked outside during the winter, even though you have a battery blanket installed. For example, if you have to be somewhere for an extended period of time and the place you'll be going to, there is no provision for you to plug in your battery blanket. When you come out to drive away, if you notice that your car does not start easily, it is a good idea for you to consult a battery specialist or a mechanic to find out what CCA and RC ratings would be best for your car, especially during the winter months. Please note that the winter conditions in Canada could be very severe sometimes, and it could actually result in other things breaking down in your car. So it may not always be a battery problem, but that's a decent place to start your troubleshooting. If you are out and about on a bitter winter day and you park your car somewhere for a few hours, and when you come back to your car it doesn't start, this could be because your battery might have discharged a bit. Therefore, it is handy to have a jump starter. And when I'm talking about a jump starter, I'm not referring to jump starter cables that would require you to have another car to be present to assist you in jump starting your car. Rather, what I'm referring to is a jump starting device. You can buy a jump starting device from Canadian Tire. Before you use it, make sure it is charged and you follow the instructions on how to operate it. I have the Noco Boost Plus GB40 Ultra Safe Jump Starter, which I bought from Canadian Tire for a little bit under 200 Canadian dollars. I have had it for almost 2 years now, and I will tell you it is an investment I do not regret. Okay fam, that's all for today. Whew, this was a long video and I know it is filled with so many things. If you have to go back and rewatch it, please rewatch the video because I'm pretty sure it's going to help you. If you haven't purchased your car already in Canada, or if you have even purchased your car, please also share it to someone, because I definitely believe that this is going to be helpful to someone that you know. Remember to give the video a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe and join Magi's gang. I will see you all in my next video, but till then, as always, stay blessed and remember, God loves you. Bye.